Good morning, Rebecca Vigas, the writer whisperer, here with you from another chilly but sunlit morning in South Central Kentucky. Um, it was 27 degrees this morning, so yes, more frost. It's only supposed to get to 55, so yes, definitely autumn weather. Um, but it's sunshiny, and that's the key thing for me. I need the sun to shine, um, to feel good, to make things brighter. Anyway, this morning's discussion of writing is what do you know? What do you know about writing? Where have you been with your writing? Lots and lots of times we struggle with, I have been working on this story, this book, this novel, whatever, for ages, and I just can't seem to make it any farther. And I'm frustrated and I just want to quit, but I want to finish it. Been there, done that. You've all been there. You've all tried that. But do you ever think about what you know? What you know today that you did not know when you started writing your first novel, your first poem, your first screenplay, whatever it is you're writing. A lot of times we don't think about what we know. We think about what we don't know or what we haven't done or how far we haven't gotten in whatever it is we are writing. And that doesn't work. That does not work for any of us because what we're doing is telling ourselves we can't do it when we really know in our hearts we can. You can write. You've been writing since you could pick up a crayon, a pen, a pencil, any writing implement since you were about 5 years old. I know I have. That's a long time to do writing when you're as old as I am. But I picked up my pen, pencil, crayon, whatever I was writing with at 5 years old, probably one of those big fat pencils that they gave you in kindergarten, to help you write your name better, okay? So I've been writing since I was 5. My name, the alphabet, my first words since I was 5. And probably before that because my mom was a teacher, but at least age 5. When I started kindergarten, they put a pencil in my hand and I started writing. Was it fluent writing? Did it make sense? No. Was it supposed to? No. I was learning how to hold the pencil, how to put the pencil to paper and make letters, and then to make those letters into words, and then to make them into simple sentences. See the cat. The cat can run. Go, cat, go. Something stupid like that, or silly, or whatever. But that's what we were writing. I was 10. 10. 5 years later, after I picked up my pencil, when a teacher told me that with my imagination, he would see me in print one day. I believed him. And that became a goal because someone said I could do it. And I believed him. And he was old at the time, getting close to retirement age. So, no, he never saw me in print. But I'm in print. Believe me, I am in print. I took what someone told me at age 10 and I turned it into this. And I turned it into this. And this. And my very first book, this. And my latest book, this. And this. Oh, wait, there's more. There's this. And this. Oh, wait, it's not done yet. And this. And this. Am I done yet? Am I finished? No, because there's this. Yep, G is for gymnastics. Oh, wait, am I done yet? There are these two. Santa is for real, but he doesn't always wear a suit. Of Moonbeams and Fairies, Collected Tales. Am I done yet? With those in print, yes, I am done. Am I getting more ready for print? Yes, I am getting more ready. Where are you? What are you doing with your writing? Because I believe in you. I believe every single person walking the face of the planet has a story to tell. Whether it be a memoir, nonfiction, science fiction, or anything in between, you all have a story to tell. Always. %92 of people walking this earth want to write. That's a lot of books. If you take the entire earth population and take 92% of it, of that 92% that want to write books, maybe 40% of them do. Of the 40% who write books, it's more like 5% or 10 at the most who actually get them published, even if it's only self-published. That's sad, folks. That's almost heartbreaking. All those stories that will never be told, that no one will ever pick up and read. Because y'all get to a point where you say, Everybody tells me it's not worth it, and I'm just gonna quit. Why are you quitting? Why are you honestly quitting? Because you can't do it? Because you don't have time? Because Bobby down the street said, "You aren't writing. You're never gonna make it. You're not ever gonna have a book. And if you do, nobody's gonna read it." Who the heck is Bobby? Has he written a book? Is he jealous because you're writing? And then there's your best friend. And your best friend says, "Yeah, go ahead and write, but why are you doing all this other stuff? Why are you coaching? Why are you doing these big lives when your book comes out? Why? What are you doing? Why are you spending this money?" Books don't walk off the shelf and say, "Hey, hey, hey, grab me." If I'm not out here telling you about this fairy tale book and the wonders inside it, and the back of it says a whimsical book of poems and short stories featuring gnomes, fairies, elves, fireflies, leprechauns, and other real and fictitious characters to aimed to capture the imagination of youngsters. These imaginary places will entice you to believe in what you cannot see. Imagine that. This is just to let your mind wander. I don't even know if there is not a table of contents here. No, you just open it up and read. Of moonbeams and fairy dust. Really? Have you ever seen fairy dust? How about Twitter the spider? Twitter and the spider. Well, what the heck's a Twitter? Um, she lived at the edge of the meadow just inside the woods. She was one of many fairies with homes there. Twitter. And Twitter is a short story, so she's a little longer. But what about the gnome in the woods? Is he a roaming gnome? Or where the unicorns roam? Do you know? Have you seen a unicorn? Do you know where they roam? That was another short story. How about Fairy Dance? Or Chauncey O'Shea the Leprechaun? How many of you have seen a leprechaun? Do you know how leprechauns live? Do you have any idea about leprechauns? Who lives in a tree? The old tree stands tall and majestic, an awesome sight to see. Today, the squirrels run to and fro, tickling his branches, but they didn't know. Later, the robin, a worm in her mouth, would return to her nest on the side facing south. Up on the highest limbs, so close to the sky, the eagle perched like an invisible spy. At night, the elves, fairies, and owls joined the residents, hearing the far off coyote howl. Insects look for winter homes. There's a beehive with honeycombs. The oak tree bends to the blowing wind, never alone, filled with those who live within. And then there's dark places. And you see the witch at the bottom. What is this, Christmas? And you have a fairy. Imagine that. It's Twitter again. What do you know about magic? Or gypsies? What happens in the tall grass? I see bugs. Ants mostly. That's what this is. My biggest 3 selling books. These 2 and this one. This one took me international, and the other 2 follow because they are children's books and they are the biggest sellers. Does that mean no one reads my novels? No, they sell too. And they have started to sell internationally because, oh, wait, someone somewhere in the world picked up my fairy tale book and then went looking to find out what else I wrote. But if I don't tell the world that I'm writing these books, no one ever knows. No one ever reads them. And they will sit on the shelf and draw dust. It's the way things work. So, what do you know now that you did not know when you started writing at age 5? And for you, making those words on the paper was magic. You had something to say. You still have something to say. And most of the time, we beat ourselves up with, why isn't that book ready? Why isn't it finished? Why? What's the problem? What's holding me back? Why aren't I writing every single day? Why aren't I making time to write? Stop beating yourself up. Go back and start with your morning pages. 3 8.5 by 11 pages. Back in front every morning. Then look at whatever your work in progress is. Read through it. What's missing? Fill it in. And then keep going. Because the more you write, the better you get at it. It's practice, guys. And we all need practice. Today's writing prompt comes from Bonnie Neubauer. And it's called FAIR, F-A-I-R, FAIR, F-A-R-E. And you're going to finish the story. Start with, in his rear view mirror, the cab driver saw. Whatever he saw, you tell me. And then take the next step. Rather than beat ourselves up over where we are not or what we still have to learn, it's healthy to remind ourselves how much we know and how far we've come. Look back and write two things you know now that you wish you had known when you started writing. Okay? I remember high school English. And the teacher would take out a blank, clear off your desk, take out a blank sheet of paper and your pencil or your pen, depending on who the teacher was. Today we're going to write. And everybody groaned. Because she had pulled down the projector screen. Not that she was going to use it. She pulled it down to cover what she'd written there. And what she had written there were 5 different topics. We had to pick one and write. How boring. And I would stare at the blank page and I would look at the topics and I would write all of them on my paper. The first 5 lines of paper were always the 5 topics. And I would stare at the 5 topics until finally I had to pick one. And I would put some little asterisk or star or something by it to indicate that was the one I was going to write on. Okay, what did I know about the topic? Yeah. If it was a compare or a contrast and it had something to do with what we'd read, I picked that one. And I drew my little Venn diagram at the top. And I put, this is what I know about this story. And this is what I know about this story. And this is what they have in common. And then I'd start writing. Holy cow, I hated that. So when I grew up and taught English, I'd tell everybody to clean off their desk and put their pencils down. And I would have topics, 5 of them, listed across my board. Topic number 1, whatever it was. What do you know about this topic? And I'd start writing what they'd tell me. Things that they could think of that they knew about that topic. We moved to topic number 2, and I would write everything that they would tell me on the chalkboard. We did the same for all 5 of them. Then I would look at them and tell them to take out a blank sheet of paper. Look at the 5 topics. Which one did they know the most about, including what we had written? Which one really said, grab me, write me? And that's the one they picked. And they had all these things that not only they knew about, but the others in the class knew about. And we had 10 to 15 different things under each of the 5. And I would say, who's writing about topic number 1? And I might get 2 or 3 hands. Group your desks together, guys, or switch with somebody so that you're all grouped together. And I want you to spend 5 minutes talking about what you know about these. And I would do that with each of the five. And if they didn't all get picked, that's okay. And if one group had four and one group had five, that was fine too. And if one group only had two people, that was okay. Talk to each other. What do you know? What can you write? You have 5 minutes to discuss what you can write about these. Don't waste time. And I walked around and they would ask me questions and I would answer their questions. And I would tell them their 5 minutes were up when it was up. I would warn them at the 1 minute marker because I had a timer. 1 minute left, guys. Start wrapping up what you're discussing. And then I said, I want you to start writing now. This is a no talking time because now we have discussed, you have discussed, now you're going to write. Some wrote faster than others. Some took theirs home as homework. Some of them were done by the end of class time. My group that had five in it had 5 different stories. Were they all similar? Oh, yeah. But they each applied them to their own life and how it affected them and how they felt about that. And my students who were special needs could write some amazing papers. And they did. They wrote amazing papers that were included in their school file on writing and followed them all the way to high school. And they got them on graduation. And they'd look over the things that they wrote and they'd say, I remember this story. I remember how we got there. Bounce your ideas off someone. They'll tell you if you're way out in left field. What do you know now that you did not know when you first started writing? Because you've come a long way. Then make yourself a list of the things you still want to learn. And go learn. But keep writing. Finish your books. Learn how to get them published. Ask me questions. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy writing.